All right, so earlier this year, I read the book The Blood We Share, and ooh, doggy, we gotta talk about it. So, The Blood We Share focuses on a fella named Jake Taylor. Not the one you're thinking of, not the one that I immediately thought of when this book started. It's not the catcher for the Cleveland Indians. That man is one of my heroes. Now, Jake Taylor is kind of a schlub, a bit of a boozer, just kind of a dude. He just kind of seems like a guy. And one night he's out doing a little drinking, and on his way home, he comes across something I think all of us have come across from time to time when drinking and driving. He comes across a woman completely soaked in blood. This being a completely normal situation, he offers his help and he brings her home. After he gets her home, he, being a gentleman, allows her to shower, clean all the blood off. Very kind. After she's washed off all that pesky blood, they both go to sleep. Her in the living room, him in his bedroom. Jake Taylor, being a normal red-blooded American, finds himself eventually sleeping with said woman, only to find that the next morning she is completely gone. And now the cops are busting down his door, dragging him out, and pulling him down to the station. Now a very confused and slightly less horny Jake Taylor is just trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. But there's something odd here. Something strange is going on, because these cops have no intention of letting Jake Taylor go. Yep, they plan on killing him. Henchman number 1 and another police officer named Ellis come into his cell to try to kill him. Jake Taylor escapes and goes to his sister Steph's house. Steph convinces him to take her car, lie low, get out of the city for a little bit until they can kind of figure out what's going on here. Ellis, being the good-hearted, gigantic dope that he is, and the only good cop in this town, goes to Steph's house to try to convince her to tell him where Jake is, so they can figure this whole thing out. Meanwhile, Jake ends up meeting back up with the girl he slept with. Her name is Lily. Strangely, she seems to have some knowledge of Jake that she shouldn't know. Like their meeting spot is somewhere where only him and his sister Steph would go when they were kids. How would she know that after a one-night stand? Well, as she is filling him in on the evil cult that seems to be running the city and have control over the cops, she lets him in on a little secret. I'm really your sister. Ew. So our main character is a sister lover. That was a tough sentence to read. It was a bit of a hang-up for me. Very reminiscent of Joe Dirt. The thing is that, alright, so he didn't know. She did, which is icky. He acts appropriately and ends up throwing up when he finds out. But what I found is grody is he still ends up kind of simping for her throughout the book. That one night stand is not the last time that this lady kisses him. And it definitely was not against his will. Ugh. Now you might be wondering, how is it that Lily is Jake's sister? Well, that's because years ago, Jake's mom went missing. And where she went missing to was to go live with this cult. She began a relationship with the leader of this cult. And it wasn't exactly against her will. This is what she wanted. What does this cult love to do, you ask? What any cult loves to do. Enslave women and make them work in fields as slave labor. They are treated as cattle, they are abused, and if you're lucky, you get to attend a sex orgy with the leader of this cult. Now, Jake and Lily have two completely different objectives when it comes to saving the day. Jake wants to free the women. Lily wants to set everybody on fire. Eventually, Ellis and Jake do team up with the common goal of setting all these women free. Now, because of this, they are also fighting against the cult and Lily, whose way of avenging the day is a little bit more final, I guess you could say. Of course, I'm leaving stuff out of this book. I didn't want to spoil the entire novel for anyone who hasn't read this yet, but I did want to give a brief overview of what this book was about. I suppose revealing that Jake and Lily are related is enough of a spoiler, but that is not the only twist nor turn that you will read in this book. This was a surprise hit for me. I didn't expect to enjoy this book as much as what I did. I thought it was fantastically written. For someone, I really enjoyed how short the chapters are. Kind of very reminiscent of a book I'm reading right now, Red Rising, where it's almost like the chapters act more as like a scene in a film. It very much reads like a film. Sometimes the chapters will only be 5 pages long, as long as it gets the point across, and every single chapter has a purpose. For someone like me who is, I'd say I'm like a bit newer to the fictional reading game. To like cut through short chapters like that almost like feels motivating that you're actually really are progressing through the story. I don't know, that's just me. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but that's just me, and it made the book more enjoyable. I'm the kind of person who hates stopping in the middle of a chapter, so like being able to know that like I have just a benchmark of 5 or 10 more pages to go before I can set it down, it brings me warmth. Yeah, I picked this book up strictly because I love the cover. I'm a sucker. I do judge books by the cover. If you say you don't, I think you're a liar. I just read the back flap, and boy howdy, it does not do this book justice of what you'll read in here. I've read 12 books so far this year. I've read classics from Stephen King, older westerns like True Grit, newer classics like The Sisters Brothers, and this book is right up there with all those. It reads very much like a book that will be adapted into a Netflix movie or maybe something on Lifetime. It kind of has that vibe too. Kind of like that guilty pleasure feeling. But that is The Blood We Share. Let me know if you have read this book. What did you think of it? What was more disturbing to you, the sister loving or the blood orgy? And what should my next Morgan Greene book be? Let me know down in the comments. Till next time, I'll see you down the road.